Well, good morning,
Morning.
good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the globe. New time zones for all of us. It's 7 a.m. here in Colorado Springs for Kiltz. Let's see, Ali is somewhere in the African continent, and I think Lance also is in North America in North Dakota. Is that right, Lance?
That is correct. North Dakota, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here.
All right, beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to talk about our usual and customary keto carnivore world. And we got Lance, we got some pictures coming. And I'm just grateful to everyone for being here. I know it's a different change. We'll get used to it. We'll figure it out. So, welcome, Lance. How are you doing today? And are we going to cut to the intro video? Give a moment here.
Let's do this video. Let's do this video and then we'll talk to Lance. Let's see
All
if
right.
everyone can hear. Let me know.
Good, good, good.
I was running hard 6 days a week, trying to fix what I couldn't see. Eating clean, playing my part, still something breaking inside my heart. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Following every line they drew, still ended up in reverse. Pills lined up on the sink, each one telling me what to think. Said give it time, you'll be okay. But I kept drifting further away. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse.
wow.
Gave them everything I had, still couldn't break that curse. Then one day I just let it go. Stopped chasing what I didn't know. Took one step, changed one thing, turned my back on everything. On everything. Whoa. Yeah, this is my why. North Dakota carnivore changed my life. Kept it simple, stripped it down, turned it all the way around. Lost the weight, cleared my mind, left that old road far behind. What I found was something true, did it myself, and so can you. I was doing everything right till I walked a different line. Now I see it clear as day. This life is finally mine. This is why I do what I do. North Dakota carnivore, seeing it through. Reversed it all, yeah, made it through. Let's stay together strong, me and you.
Oh, there you go. I love your I love the Kiltz Health cert in the background at the end then.
I am awake now, Lance.
It's
That
on
is
the wall.
really, really good. Oh my God.
That whole thing is just about all AI except for just one spot where it comes off of one of my videos. But the pictures he took, the guy who did it is John Together Strong, and he actually took some pictures of that I sent him, and he made the moving parts with my wife, my granddaughter, and that stuff. That's all.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I love it. I love it. Well, I'm gonna I think it's Dave Mack. The simple question is, Lance, how did you find Carnivore?
I found Carnivore by mistake. I was sitting at home scrolling on TikTok, and I came across Carnivore Ray talking about the benefits that he's had on his carnivore journey. That got me to go down a rabbit hole for about 2.5 months, and I did a lot of research. I found Dr. Berry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Hampton, Chafee, all the good doctors that we have in the carnivore community. And it took me a long time. What made me look at it was my failing health. I did about 20 years ago. I started working out in the oil field. I started to get big. I started doing Insanity when I got to 300 pounds. I did Insanity 6 days a week for 4 years.
What's Insanity?
And it's a beach body workout, Sean T.
Okay.
And it is insane what he does. But I lost 80 pounds. And what happened is I followed their advice, and it was mostly low fat, lean meats, and a lot of plant material. I ended up in AFib. In 2017, I had to have heart surgery. So when I got done with that, I had anxiety. I couldn't go back to working out. I started gaining weight again. 2020, my blood pressure I found was high. I got put on blood pressure medications. And I ended up on, in a 4-year period, I ended up on 5 blood pressure medications. And my blood pressure was still high. So in June of 2024, when I saw Carnivore Ray, he was talking about all the benefits that he had from it. And then I started looking at the good doctors, and finally in August 22nd, I called my wife up and I told her, bring me 4 quarter-pounder patties from McDonald's. And she was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, just bring me 4 quarter-pound patties. I'll tell you when I get home. She said, all right. And that's how I started my carnivore diet, was eating McDonald's. Now, since then, it took 6 weeks for me to come off of all 5 of my blood pressure medications. 6 weeks. And I did do the last 2, which were maximum dose pills. I did that with my doctor. She wasn't happy about it, but I came off of them, and I haven't had any more issues with it since. So my carnivore success story took 6 weeks to do. Since then, I've lost 142 pounds.
Wow. 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 So you'd gone to the doctor for all these ailments, and your doctors gave you all these medications to treat your disorder. And so how do we put together ultimately the cause of our problems, the cause of your problems, and how you healed on what we're aligned to call the proper human diet?
Well, it's pretty simple, I think. This way of eating's a basic elimination diet. I eliminated all plants, and I got better. And it's, that's what I look like.
And exercise, you must have exercised a lot to lose all that weight.
Actually, I don't exercise hardly at all. I really don't. And I should, because I'd like to. I've lost a lot of weight. So I do have some loose skin. I'd like to tone up a little bit, trade out some of that looseness for some muscle, but I walk every once in a while, but not very often. Maybe once or twice a week I'll walk, and that's it.
Yeah, I do walking now. I found that all that running and all that extra stuff, it just hurt me. And if I might put a light pack on my back, and kills, but I just take it slow and easy. I walk from my hotel here in Colorado Springs through the trails, the and the highway and the river to Walmart, 2 miles there and 2 miles back. Just nice leisure. I try to get, I do go do something. And I think that's important. Are you still working and active in your career?
Oh, I am. Yep.
And so what are your colleagues' comments about this?
A lot of them are actually, now they're very supportive. When I first started, they were kind of like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But I work with a couple of guys who are diabetics, and they've actually worked on their own diets, their own health to get stuff back into a line for them. My wife was, when I first told her what I was doing, a carnivore diet, and I was only going to be eating meat, she said, "That's great. I'll support you, but don't expect me to ever do this." She's a type 2 diabetic. And I started in August, and by the end of November, she was 99% carnivore because she got a CGM and finally figured out what was causing all of her blood sugar spikes. And she eliminated everything that caused her a spike, and she ended up with just meat.
So she's a true believer now.
She is, but she won't make our grandkids do it or our kids do it. But she does. She sticks to it every now and then. I mean, we do have a treat every now and then. We have Kiltz ice cream because you got to have something like that.
Time to time, not all the time, right?
Absolutely. And then once in a while, she'll have some tomatoes and peppers and onion with her when she eats chicken and stuff. But most of the time, she's eating just meats and some dairy.
And tell us a little bit about your mission here and doing that video and getting on YouTube and sharing your story.
Well, everybody knows when you first start this diet and you have success, you want to tell everybody, right? And after watching so many videos, I was interviewed early on my Diet by Dave Mack, and I decided one way to do it is to share my story on YouTube. And I figured if I can help one person, if they see my video and they connect with me, and I help just one person change their life, then it's worth it. I'm a very introverted person. Before I went carnivore, before my mind changed with this here whole way of eating, I'd have never, ever done something like this. It's the last thing I would have ever done. And now I do Saturday morning and Sunday mornings. I do a live show for accountability and for support for people. And this week I actually did 3 lives also because I was doing a 72-hour fast and I just wanted accountability. So that's what I did. I did a couple lives and talked with people, and I actually brought them on screen and talked with people, see how they were doing. So it's a lot of fun.
This is a community that it really is blossoming. I'm going to the meetup with SBG, Bella and the gang in Bozeman, Montana. It's the second one, I think. I can't remember if it's the second or third, but maybe it's the third. But
I think it's the third.
Okay, I can't count anymore. And with the communities around the country, around the globe, I'll be going to Australia, to South Africa. I went to London with George and Angela and others. And tell us a little bit about your thoughts on how important this community is for accountability and to help support people. Do you think that probably is one of the biggest benefits of this carnivore space?
Oh, it absolutely is. It's one of the biggest things that when I first started doing this and I started watching the videos, I did really good. When I got involved in the community, when I started watching your channel and your lives and other people's lives and getting connected with the people, that's where I really started to learn more and more about what's going on with my body and with myself. And that's where I've learned to help other people. I did the Kiltz coaching. I'm a certified Kiltz coach. I did that for my own knowledge. I don't have a business, but I know the information I'm giving people now is more accurate. And it really helped me to be more calm when I talk to people about it and realize that everybody has their own journey that they have to have. Some people do better with a higher fat, some people do better with a lower fat, and some people want to have those veggies. And if they can continue to heal and have success, it's all good. But the community itself is what really is really important.
I can tell you when I do these lives or whenever I'm on anyone else's lives and seeing our family global friendships that have developed, and some of them we've never met, but we meet here, and that's been a real driver in my life to connect with these. Again, I've been to dinners with people, to concerts with people, to hanging out with Mitch on the couch smoking a cigar, which is always great. And just is such an amazing thing. I mean, look at Dave Mack all the way in Japan, what he's done, and the people, again, every continent of the world is showing this benefit. Did you ever do Atkins diet?
No, I never did Atkins. I never did keto. I just did the standard American diet.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing the Beachbody stuff, I went very close to vegan or vegetarian, more like, but very low meat intake in that. Chicken and fish was the primary meats I was eating when I was doing Beachbody.
Which I don't know the communities. There must be some communities in the vegan, vegetarian world, and all these other things. We've been talking a little bit about Simon Hill and Rich Roll and Ellen Fisher.
Yeah, Ellen Fisher. Ellen Fisher, you got it right. Rick Roll.
Yeah, good people, really good people, and love the conversation. Have you had any conversations with the vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, and how this just isn't sustainable? This can't be sustainable what you're doing?
I've not really had that many conversations with that group of people. I wouldn't object to them talking to me as long as they can keep it civil. And that's one of the things that they're very militant about their diet. And that's one of the things I love about the carnivore community is it's what we do, like it or not.
Well, we're lions. We like to roar.
Right.
Right. And we like to come out and like, whoa, this is, I think you said it, when you went carnivore, your mindset changed, your anxiety or whatever it is that kind of held us back, it just went away.
It did. And I used to have anxieties about certain things, and most of it's gone now. I still don't like getting in front of people and talking. Actually, this morning, just coming right before this year, I do my own lives and I talk to people on other lives. But this one, I was a little nervous for this morning. But wasn't going to stop me, where before it would have.
Well, that's a good point, because I have, since carnivore, even though you sometimes feel that, what am I say? What am I going to do? Am I going to mess up? Is this going to be good? Am I going to show up right? And you feel that, but now you have the power to sort of move through that. stress and strain and difficulties in all of this. And we're really excited to have Lance on today, everyone. And if you got some comments, questions, thoughts, ideas, always open. And if you want to be part of one of our morning lives, you send a message to Alia at drkiltz.com, and love to get that. And what's some cues we're starting off with?
George is asking purple coconuts. Lance, I think you're a vet. Can you tell us about your service?
I am a vet, and I joined the Army in 1986, and I left the Army in 1995. I did my basic training in Alabama at Fort McClellan, which is now closed because it's a toxic waste site. Such a lovely place. And then I spent 8 years in Germany, in Karlsruhe, Germany. If you look at the video, my intro video, it shows a picture of my wife and I in front of a sign that says Karlsruhe. My wife and I met in Karlsruhe, Germany. That picture was taken 30 years later in Karlsruhe, North Dakota. So it was about the same weekend that we met. It was the last weekend of July, and we drove out there. We took a picture in front of their sign there. But I spent my whole time in Germany. I traveled around Europe. I didn't make it to England, but I made it to a lot of other countries. The Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Spain, the Czech Republic. My heritage is Czech, and I went to the Czech Republic several times. Love that place. It's such a beautiful country. But yeah, I loved being in Germany. It was a great place to be. Did a lot of training with the German Army, the French Army, and a couple of times we ran into some Brits out there doing training also. So thanks, George.
Yeah, George is a good guy. He had service also, and he's a great storyteller. Love George's Laney, his family, and his great community. Amazing leadership in carnivores there.
The next question, Lions Danivore podcast. Lance, did your experience in the military help you with discipline that carnivore has provided? Are there any similarities in mindset and focus? That's a great question.
I think it's helped me tremendously because the discipline that you learn in the military, I was military police. I was in law enforcement, and the standards that they set for the law enforcement and the military going through our training, they set a higher standard for everything that we do because we live in a glass house. So they're very strict, and just the whole way that I approached when I switched over to this lifestyle, I just jumped right in. I didn't do any, ease into it. I was eating a standard American diet on the 21st, and on the 22nd, I switched straight to a straight carnivore diet, and I had no problems. And I've stuck to it. I've tried to bring back different things. I stopped drinking coffee shortly after I started the carnivore diet. I stopped drinking coffee and I stopped drinking alcohol on the same day. Awesome. My last aches and pains went away. And one of the pains I have, this wrist, just closing it would cause great pain. I couldn't grab stuff. And now I don't have any issue. I started drinking coffee again about 9 months after I quit. Last month, I started getting pain in my wrist again. 20 days coffee free. And after 3 days, I had no more pain.
I do agree with you. Yeah.
It's now I'm just ice water. But the mindset that you get from the military is tremendous and help with this here. You just have to stick to it and do it. And that's what I learned from the military. So
cool.
This is the next question for Brian. Lance, what is the most important practice you do now to help you on your journey? I know there's
not really just one important practice. Sticking to the diet is the most important thing. And I think what Brian's looking at is I talk to Brian quite often, and I do a lot of fasting. So I started a routine that I'm going to be doing here for the next, I don't know how long, where I'm going to be fasting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that's going to be what I'm going to be doing. When I was in Europe, and I just talked about this week on one of my lives. When I was in Europe from 1985 or 1986 to 1995, that's when they had with mad cow disease and that meat being sold to the general public, and our military bought a lot of it. So I've been exposed to it. It's a prion that slowly eats away your brain. And I know when you're in deep autophagy, there's a lot of brain healing that goes on. And I'm hoping that this continues to work for me. When somebody's infected with a mad cow in a human, it comes out as Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease, and it takes 30 to 40 years to manifest. So if I can get ahead of that and stay out of it, then I'll be happy. I don't know if I have it. The only way to find out is to examine the brain after one passes away.
Be okay. We don't need to do that yet.
No.
But you feel amazing. You've healed in so many ways.
I do. You know, I suffered from allergies for well over 30 years. And we have an extremely wet spring, summer here so far. So it's really bad out there. And I've had to take my allergy medicine twice this spring, but that's it. I used to take it every day and still be stuffed up, but I'm not anymore. There's just so many things that you heal from, and just to sit and list everything, it takes forever.
Well, I was off coffee for 2.5 years. I recently got back on it again. And yeah, I get a little bit of this has been a problem for 20 years plus, but it's much, much better than it used to be. And I used to have frozen shoulders and my hands, I have, I could create it but it used to, I couldn't do this. And it's pretty amazing what being carnivore and minimizing. I minimize it now, and I do a lot of fasting also. I think fasting is really, really great personally. I'll go 3 days no food every month, 5 to 7 days quarterly. I did 15 days last July, so I haven't decided if I'm going to do 15 days yet, but I do have a 5 to 7 day fast coming up.
Yeah. The longest I've done for a fast is just 7 days, and
pretty good.
I feel great doing that. And I have wanted to push it any further, but
yeah,
I enjoy fasting.
Yeah, it's the food freedom for sure. What does Bill Betts have to ask there, Talia?
He's not asking a question. He says, I started 9 years ago after being diagnosed too. And I changed my life in so many ways. It's just a diagnosed too, maybe type 2 diabetes. And I changed my life so many ways. I'm very grateful to a young doc that suggested changing diet before meds. That's great.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Lions Carnivore podcast. As a veteran, you face challenges that require mental toughness, discipline, and resilience. How does the carnivore lifestyle compare to your military experience mindset?
It's very similar. I'm very focused and my mind's made up on what I'm going to be doing. So it takes discipline to stay on this way of eating. I mean, for me, the easiest way for me to stay on this way of eating is to try something and then feel the pain that it causes. And then I'll know I'm not going to be doing that again, but the mindset's the hardest thing that people have is we've been brainwashed for with the last 50 or 60 years that meat is bad for us. I remember when that food pyramid came out. I was in elementary school. And I remember when it came out and it was presented in class and all that. And it was all just a advertising campaign, and that's what they took off with. There's no science behind it. But getting out of that brainwashed mentality is really hard for a lot of people. And I don't think it was a military thing. That I think it's more of just finding the truth and realizing how much we have been lied to about nutrition for the last 50 to 60 years. That's really helped me out.
Discipline. That's why the 6 a.m. live, the 9 a.m. live, for me, it's get up and go to work every day. I do my 100 push-ups every day. I love reading the Christ-based teachings, and our new book, which is Christ Carnivore. It's sort of find something, whether it's Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, ancient brothers and sisters that honor the nature and the sun gods, and it's all within each and every one of us. I think that's so important.
It is. There's a lot that has to do with faith, especially when you're fasting, because that's actually something that's in the Bible, is for us to fast. And I believe it helps tremendously clear your mind and help your spirit.
Faith, fasting, fatty meat, fitness. It's really the simple nature, right?
It is.
SS Toad. Good morning. I've been trying to connect with Lance for coaching. I guess he answered my question. Maybe I need to get this certification too. That's a great idea. My biggest issue seems to be accountability and guidance.
And that's what the coaching program's for. And if you go to Kiltz, the KMT website, you can get a hold of the coaches on that there. And you can find my email address. It's on my YouTube channel. You can email me, and I can actually try to put you in touch with a couple of the coaches that I know that I talk with often. I'd be happy to do that.
And whether you're deciding you want to be a professional coach, I think it's important for all of us to gain the knowledge so that we can become our own advocates with our clinicians, our doctors. And sometimes you wind up going to the doctor, you get your blood drawn, you go get checked, and you want to be able to talk intelligently. And nowadays, you go to KMT or you go to Google, you go to ChatGPT. There's a lot of good stuff out there. But the carnivore is really pretty amazing. Do you have any particular things, Lance, that you measure on a regular basis?
Other than my weight, no. Well, yeah. Also, I wear a CGM because I'm not diabetic, but I wear a CGM. So I do measure my blood sugars, and I measure my ketones when I'm fasting and stuff. So,
what have you found? What's been one of the important things in that measurement?
I found that the fattier red meat that I eat, the lower my glucose stays and the higher my ketones go. Even when I'm eating, I'm still in ketosis. Eating a ribeye with a little butter on it, my ketones will be higher in the morning than they are just eating like a New York strip. And I know what foods now give me better results for ketones. And when I'm running on ketones, I feel much better.
Next question, Cookie Carter. How do you encourage to go straight carnivore after going meat-based?
How would I encourage somebody to go? I wouldn't encourage anybody to go straight carnivore because a lot of people have trouble with that. There's a few people out there that can just jump straight in and not have any issues. But most people have that issue. So most people are going to need to have that time to transition so they don't end up with the keto flu, which is just the carb addiction leaving the body.
And we're naturally addicted to carbohydrates because, which are we're talking essentially sweeter carbs, plants that in nature didn't exist very much. And so when you came across them, the nature says, hey, buddy, you better eat this. But we're in an environment where it didn't exist 50,000 years ago.
Right. And that's one of the things that now, if people want to eat a vegetable or a fruit, eat it in season and only when it's available in season, and then stop. That's what we were meant to do. And having this access to it 365 days a year has not been good for us.
Yeah. Lions.
This one is Dr. Kiltz. Would you be interested the next time you do a 15-day fast to do a live stream for anyone that is willing to join you for everyday encouragement to keep going?
And absolutely, but even a 7-day fast or a 3-day fast or a 24-hour fast, I think that's good. But yeah, I purposely went on every day when I did my 15-day fast because it's when you put it out to the universe is going to guide you better and give you the strength to do it. That's why I think faith and readings every day and conversations and having a coach and cheerleader, that's what this is really all about. We want to hear the crowds. I mean, can you imagine if the global soccer football matches were in empty stadiums and it was quiet? Would that have the same energy? Really, it's just thousands of coaches around you, right? What do you think, Lance?
I think just having the accountability, like what Dan's asking for here, to me is really important. And I know Dan has his own channel. It's a great channel too. I enjoy watching what he does. He's got a mean grill. I like that grill that he has.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for accountability, and I was looking for accountability on my 3-day fast, so I did my live streams because I wanted my own accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can do this. Anybody can come onto YouTube and do their own accountability stuff. So if you feel like you need it, take the plunge, jump in, and start a YouTube channel.
There you go. Let's see. Jessica is asking, would going carnivore help with a yeast rash?
That I have no idea.
Well, that's a good question. Alia, did you have a comment?
Yeah, because I think yeast loves plants. Yeast loves plants, and so it's going to eat plants. And what do you say? How do you say, like, create more yeast when you eat plant products? So going carnivore should definitely help with a lot of fat. Dr. Kiltz?
Well, so yeast and bacteria and viral particles are everywhere. And they love plants and lean meat. They love protein. They're all fermentable. Basically, the microbes, the bacteria and the yeast eat them. And so the microbes are mostly proliferating in the gut, and they travel up the esophagus in the upper and lower respiratory system out onto the skin. They travel all over your skin, and they do the same thing from the rectum anus, and they travel all over your skin, in the vagina, in the bladder for men and women, urethra, in the reproductive systems. And so those microbes proliferate, and the infections are usually in damp, dark, moist environments. And they're just part of the ecosystem that is breaking things down into their molecular components so nature, God, could build something else. And so carnivore which is fatty meat, and maybe Lance could comment on about how he chooses more fatty cuts of meat. Does he add anything to that? And butter doesn't mold. And when you eat the fat, it suppresses the gut microbes, which are not your friend, by the way. And yeah, carnivore, fatty meat, rare to raw, black and blue, and salt, the best thing. Lance, you have any comments on that?
Yeah. I've learned to cut my own steaks from the primal cuts of roast. So I buy the rib roast, I buy the strip loin roast, I buy chuck roll, and I cut my own meats. I don't trim the fats off of them. So I don't, when I get a ribeye or a New York strip steak, it's got that thick cap of fat.
Yeah.
And
Cap of fat.
I love it. And it's much better than what you get from a restaurant or what you get from any grocery store. What I really discovered that I like is I used to have a hard time eating the fat when it's hot. Sometimes I still do, but I can eat it all if it's cooked and then cooled, refrigerated the next day. I can eat every ounce of that fat and I have no problem with it. A cold steak is one of the best things I've found. It still retains all the flavor, and then you get all that fat.
And I personally think raw fat is better than rendered fat because the glycocalyx is intact, which is the sugar protein layer of the membrane, and you want that as intact as possible. But I do agree with you. What I do is I'll take all that grease, I'll pour it right back on the steak. I usually cook my steak in a pan under the broiler so the heat hits it black and blue on the inside, and that fat. And I see so many carnivores cut away the fat. Have you noticed that, or overcook their meat?
Overcooking meat, I see that, and that drives me crazy. I don't eat it rare, or black and blue, but rare to medium rare, closer to a rare state is where I prefer it. And my son and his girlfriend have started eating their steaks the same way now because it's got more flavor and it's more tender when you cook it that way.
I love it. That's it's, and find your, even if you overcook the meat, it's still better than undercooked plants. If you eat a plant, overcook them, kill the microbes, simplify the sugars, add a ton of butter or cream cheese, sour cream.
Right.
What are your thoughts about fermented vegetables? Are those really necessary for us?
I don't think they're necessary. Some people like them and some people do good on them. I've tried some fermented stuff and it hasn't gone well for me. So if I try a food and I really try to introduce just one thing at a time, and then I wait for a few days to see if it affects me. If it affects me, I don't use it anymore. And so far, I haven't found any vegetable that I can really have that does not give me some type of a pain and cause me issues. I've damaged my body. I'm 59 years old now, or young, and I started this at 57. So for 57 years, I abused my body, and I have a lot of healing to do yet. Maybe someday I'll be able to have some plants when they're in season, but I can't right now. It just causes pain.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't do fermented foods. I might have a pickle sometimes. Oh, olive juice. Once in a while, I'll do an extra filthy Duder Martini rare, but it's actually mostly olive juice. I just keep on adding more olive juice and a little bit of olives with blue cheese in it. But next,
Aaron's asking, in a longer fast, what do you do to get through hunger pains, urges?
salt, lick salt.
I do.
What do you do, Lance?
I carry 2 of the Redmond salt mini shakers with me at all times. and I failed to fill it up yesterday, but I carry these with me all the time. This holds 7 grams of salt, and there are days where I'll go through 2 of them. But typically, I'll have at least one of them every day for salt. And when I'm fasting, that's the easiest thing to do. And then drinking a little more water. If your stomach has got water in it, you're not going to have that hunger pang as much.
And
More questions.
electrolyte drinks are good, but stay away from this sweetie stuff.
Right.
It can help. Again, it's your fast, everyone. You choose it. Coffee, tea, electrolyte mix, salt, lick salt, or mineral salts, electrolyte mix. I think that's a good way to get you through it.
It is.
All right, we got a bunch from Dan. Let's see.
Dan, we appreciate you, Dan, today.
Thank you for all of your amazing questions. If you could sit down with your younger self during your years of service, what would you tell him about nutrition and carnivore?
I've thought about this stuff before. Like, I don't know if I would tell him anything, because everything that I have gone through has made me the person I am today. And I don't know if I'd want to change any of that. I would love to not be in pain as I was growing up and growing older. I'd love to have not had high blood pressure and all that stuff. But I wouldn't be the person I am now. And I don't know what my circumstances would have changed doing that. I don't know if I would tell him anything.
All right, here's the next one. If every veteran in America tried carnivore for 90 days, what changes do you think they would experience physically, mentally, and emotionally?
I think it'd be tremendous, and not just for the veterans, but our active duty military too, because they're being fed a bunch of garbage. I think if they did this for 90 days, we'd have a lot less people on medications for PTSD, because I think your brain would heal and you'd be able to come through a lot of that better because of it. The red meat is not what is helping people. It's the fat. And having that fat available for the hormones that your body needs and all the building blocks in it is what really helps. And that's what they need. They need to get away from these plant-based diets and go to a meat-based, fat-based diet and animal fats. I think it'll help every veteran.
Yeah, I think that you think about it, prisoners, schools, institutions, right? It's all fed an industrial, domesticated kibble diet.
Right. They're being fed duck food is what they're being fed.
Yeah. And, beans and rice is big out there, pasta, pizza. And I know that I suffered for years. Finally, in my mid-50s, I found carnivore, and 15 years now is like radical. And I think that, we have to suffer our sufferings for strengthening. That's how we're learning all of this, right?
Absolutely.
That's really it.
It's one day at a time. We learn more and more every day that we're out here doing this. Sharing our experience, hope, one day at a time.
Every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to answer this question. Nazir, please email me and I can get you all the information that you're asking for. We need to get you to be a member of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe for free, and then you can sign up and do the course. But if you want to email me, and I will send you all the links.
And let's get Nazir on at some point. And
yeah, Nazir, we want you on the live stream.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Did we already do this one? After everything you experienced, military service to your carnivore journey, what does true freedom mean to you? Freedom from enemies abroad, or freedom from disease, medication, and food addiction?
Or freedom from the internal enemies?
Freedom from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
Because they are here. And to answer a lot of good questions, a lot of hard ones today. I appreciate that, making me think a little bit. The freedom that we have in this country is, a lot of people don't understand what this country really is. And I served in a foreign country. I've been to a lot of the European countries in my travels. I was there during the Cold War. I was there when the wall fell.
Wow.
It's quite an experience. And those of us who have served and who have been overseas and seen this stuff, we know what the importance of our freedom is. I wish more people would see it from the eyes of a veteran.
Mm-hmm. Aaron's asking, how would our current military be different if they were more on a more carnivore or carnivore-ish lifestyle?
There'd be a lot of difference in them. You wouldn't see the rounding faces that they have anymore. They'd be a leaner, meaner fighting machine, and they'd be able to go and do their jobs more proficiently. They wouldn't have that brain fog they have to fight with all the time. And it would be a much better military that we had if they were carnivore.
Our children, all young and old, our parents and grandparents, everyone should give carnivore at least, what do you think, 30 days, Lance?
30 to 90 days. Everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to stay a carnivore, you should do it for 30 to 90 days to see what changes in your life and see what you heal from.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, within the first week, I stopped snoring within the first week. My wife was amazed. And she can tell on nights that we have something that I shouldn't have, I snore. And she tells me that each time. You were snoring again last night. I'm like, yeah, well, we had this, and go into a restaurant to eat. I don't know if it's the seed oil or the seasoning that they use on whatever they're cooking. I am affected by it, and I get affected by it quickly. So, and this way of eating is just an amazing way, and everybody should try it for at least 30 days. They'll find out how much better they feel. And getting rid of pain, that's the biggest thing for me, being pain-free.
Pain pushes to the powerfuls. Yeah. Yeah. Willie, happy 4th. America turned 50. Wow. And so, but the universe is infinitely old, and we're part of that.
Yes.
And I think that it is amazing, and celebrating all of us together and healing. Let's see. So if you're at a barbecue, Lance, on the 4th of July, and what is the most common, what are people cooking on 4th of July pretty commonly?
They're cooking meat.
Hamburgers,
burgers, dogs, steaks. That's what we're all about. And that's the good stuff.
Would you recommend that everyone partake and enjoy and don't lose your sleep over a hot dog?
Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of clean hot dogs out there. Because I eat hot dogs. There are some good ones out there. You can find them that are very low in the carb list.
Sure.
Yeah.
More and more.
Should we answer this last question? Should we answer this last question? Nazir, can anyone help me? I take 4 to 5 cups of black coffee with pink salt during the day during fasting. He wants to know if it's good or bad.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is how does it make you feel? Is it helping you? Have you tried without it?
Yeah.
So how does it make you feel?
Put that same salt in warm water.
That too. That's.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that myself now since I gave up my bean broth.
Yeah.
I just fill my coffee cup with hot water.
And then you could try bone broth, by the way, and you remove the fat layer. No fat layer in that. Right? Add salt into that bone broth, which essentially is your closest thing, to that carnivore spot. But you get rid of the fat. Although the amount of fat you're going to get from that probably isn't that significant, but it depends on how much you have. Do you make your own bone broth, Lance?
Not yet. I've actually, in the last 2 weeks, I've been thinking about it because I like bone broth, but the bone broth, most of it that we find still has more carbs in it than I want to have in bone broth.
Yeah, you got to make it yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
very easy
thinking
to
about
make.
doing that.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, let's get another question in.
I think we might have answered them all.
Lance, did you have any other comments you wanted to make sure you shared before we sign off in about a little over a minute?
No, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to talk about and more. It's just, this is the best thing that you could do for your body and for your health, is to do this way of eating. And we've all been taught a different way, and it's been wrong from the beginning.
I think that, I would say that whether you're a ketovore or strict carnivore, both of those things are amazing. Add fat, cook plants well, eat less frequently. I mean, I typically do one meal a day at night, and I think that helps a lot of us. And then do the 2 to 3 day fasting. Are you going to do 2 to 3 days every week, Lance?
Yeah. Yep. I'm looking at doing a 3-day fast every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Awesome.
Cool. I think, again, fasting is natural and great. To Brian, to Rick, to everyone out there, we just appreciate everyone. Lance, for his great video. Who helped you make that video, Lance?
That was made by John Together Strong, and everybody should go over to his channel and check out his stuff. He's got some amazing videos. There's a lot of education in his videos. Awesome. The words to that song are my carnivore story.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
I'm traveling Monday. I don't know if I'm going to be available Monday. We'll see.
I got the live stream covered.
All right. You guys got it covered.
We got it covered.
Everybody. Blessings on our journey every single day. This beautiful celebration of birthday for US of A. Wherever you are in the world, celebrate a beautiful life. And carnivore brings much more freedom, in my opinion. Thanks, Lance. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy 4th.